Hey legends, ever had that moment where your whole world just clicks? Like everything suddenly makes sense and it's darker than you ever imagined? Wow, you just uncovered something they never wanted you to see. The smiles were fake, the words were traps, and every single thing that looked harmless was part of a plot built to break you. But guess what? Nah, it didn't work. You saw it. You felt it. You exposed it. That's power. That's awareness. You just cracked the code of deception. And trust me, once your eyes open like that, you can't ever shut them again. You're not crazy, you're awake. Yeah, they'll call you paranoid, they'll try to twist your truth, they'll act like nothing happened, but deep down they know the mask slipped. You caught the move before it happened. You read the silence between their words. You became the threat they whispered about. And to everyone watching this right now, this one's for you. You, the ones who've been underestimated, lied to, and plotted against, yet you never folded. You kept standing, kept observing, kept evolving. Respect to the real ones who can sense fake energy before it even speaks. This is a monologue for the misunderstood, the mentally unshakable, the ones who turned betrayal into a blueprint. Are you ready? Then stay till the end. Drop a print in the comments if you feel this energy. Let's break this illusion wide open together. Every lie has a heartbeat. And tonight, you finally heard it. It began quietly, not with thunder, not with screams, but with silence, so sharp it carved through your thoughts like glass. You started to notice the pattern, whispers stitched between the smiles, shadows following you even when no one was there. It wasn't paranoia, it was precision, a plan, a plot. Oh wow, you finally saw it, didn't you? The way they moved together, the way every little coincidence had strings attached. You thought they were your allies, your circle, your understanders. But underneath that mask of care, they were busy building something. Not to raise you up, but to bury you beneath layers of doubt and illusion. You uncovered it, the demonic plot. Not of myth or fire, but of manipulation, designed to drain your light, to make you question your purpose until you were too tired to fight. It started small, subtle traps. Conversations meant to twist your thoughts. Jokes that weren't jokes. Compliments that were daggers. They studied your rhythm like a scientist studies prey. They learned what made you smile, what made you flinch, what made you second-guess yourself, and once they mapped your emotions, they launched the strike. Have you ever felt your own energy turn against you? That's what they wanted, to make your kindness look like weakness. Your silence looks like surrender. Your patience looks like fear. But oh yeah, they forgot one thing. The person they were targeting was built from storms, not soft fabric. You see, deception thrives in comfort. It hates people who notice. And you noticed everything. Every delayed reaction, every fake apology, every accidental betrayal. They thought they were playing chess, but you were studying the whole board from above. You didn't just react. You watched. You learned the language of liars, the rhythm of betrayal, the tone of false peace. And when the mask slipped, when the final piece of their little performance cracked, you smiled. Not because you enjoyed it, but because you finally understood. Understanding is dangerous, isn't it? It's the moment they lose control. When you see the machinery behind the illusion, the faces behind the smiles, when you realize that not every friend wants to see you rise, some just want front row seats to your fall. And the worst part? They weren't random. They were chosen, sent by whispers of envy, jealousy, and the hunger to see you collapse. They couldn't touch your path, so they tried to distort your perception. They couldn't destroy your truth, so they tried to rewrite your story in secret. But you read it, line by line, and you tore it apart. Nah, this wasn't about them, was it? This was about you. About what it awakens in a person when they realize the world isn't as kind as they once believed. About what happens when innocence meets awareness and doesn't flinch. You didn't just survive their plot. You exposed it. You saw through the fog, through the false smiles, through the quiet sabotage disguised as care. And now you stand in the ruins of their plan, holding the one thing they feared you'd ever find, clarity. The kind that burns through deception. The kind that never unsees. The kind that turns a target into a threat. Awareness is not freedom. It's a burden that burns. So you found out. You peeled back the curtain, stared straight into the pit of deception, and saw faces you once trusted staring back. Oh wow. The shock of it hit you in waves. Not because of what they did, but because of who did it. The realization sat heavy in your chest, a silent scream pressed behind calm eyes. You weren't meant to know. You were supposed to stay blind, obedient, manageable. But you broke the script. You saw. And now, you can't unsee. At first it felt like poison in your veins. Every memory replayed with new meaning. Every smile now looked like a strategy. Every kind word carried the scent of manipulation. You walked through the same rooms, but everything had changed. The air was heavier. The silence wasn't peace anymore. It was calculation. And you could feel it. The weight of knowing. Yeah. Awareness cuts deeper than betrayal. It doesn't just wound, it transforms. You start to see that most of the world is built on illusions, stacked on top of lies, polished with fake virtue. The plot against you wasn't a random act. It was part of a pattern, a test of whether you'd stay asleep or rise with your eyes open. And once you woke up, the game shifted. They sense it too, don't they? The way your energy changed, the way your silence became sharp, almost surgical. You stopped reacting, stopped explaining, stopped defending. That's when fear crept into them. Because you didn't fall apart. You recalibrated. You started to observe, to measure, to choose your responses. That's the moment they realized they hadn't destroyed you. They had refined you. Their plot backfired. Every deception they weaved became your data. Every insult became your evidence. Every act of betrayal became your training. And when you connected the dots, oh yeah, you didn't just survive it, you started to use it. There's a strange peace in that, isn't there? To know you were never the fool they thought you were. To realize that what was meant to break you became your blueprint for strength. The burden of knowing becomes the armor of the aware. But awareness doesn't come free. It changes the way you move, the way you see, the way you trust. You can't unlearn the faces behind the masks. You can't pretend to be blind again. Still, there's power in that pain. It teaches you restraint, composure, and silence. It makes you dangerous, not because you attack, but because you wait. You've learned that patience is not weakness, it's strategy. You don't need to expose them. Life will. You just stay steady. Keep walking, keep building, keep knowing. Nah, they think the story's over because you went quiet. But they don't realize that silence isn't retreat, it's preparation. Every calm breath is a countdown. Every still moment is sharpening you for something greater. They feared your anger until they realized your calm was worse. You remember the question, don't you? What truly terrifies them? Oh wow, it's not your rage, not your retaliation, not your words. It's your stillness, that silent composure that says, I see everything now. Because once a person sees, truly sees, no lie can ever touch them again. You've crossed that line. You've entered the space where calm becomes power, and power becomes unpredictable. They can't read you anymore, and that drives them mad. See, before, you were easy to provoke. One wrong word, and they could steer your emotions. They could feed off your reactions. They mistook your passion for weakness. But now, you've gone quiet. You're thinking before you speak, measuring before you move. That's the kind of calm that shakes entire rooms. Yeah, they're nervous now, because the one they once plotted against is no longer playing the same game. You learn to turn your awareness into discipline, your pain into calculation, and your silence into strategy. You became the kind of person they whisper about, the one who doesn't need to shout to be felt. And the more you stayed composed, the more their own plots began to fall apart. You see, fear doesn't come from loudness, it comes from precision. From the look in your eyes when you know something they don't. From your ability to stay steady when chaos erupts. They sense it, that unspoken warning in your presence. It's not revenge they fear, it's justice. Not the kind that screams, but the kind that arrives. You've become a mirror for their deceit. Every lie they told now reflects back on them. Every trick they tried now haunts their own mind. Because when truth stands quietly, deception devours itself. That's the law of consequence, inevitable and unbreakable. Oh yeah, you didn't even have to lift a finger. The truth did it for you. But don't mistake their fear for surrender. Some of them will still try to provoke you, not to win, but to see if they can pull you back into the old version of yourself. Don't let them. Keep your silence sharp, your focus cold, your patience iron. You've already won the war, they don't even know they lost. Nah. Your calm isn't weakness, it's control. It's proof that you no longer need chaos to prove your strength. You learn that revenge isn't always striking back. Sometimes it's simply refusing to fall. The real punishment for those who plotted against you is this: watching you rise, untouchable, while their schemes turn to dust beneath their own hands. They can't touch what's aware. They can't shake what's steady. And they can't destroy what no longer reacts. That's the transformation they never prepared for, the moment when the hunted becomes the watcher. Strength isn't tested when the noise is loud. It's tested when the silence starts to suffocate. So are you ready for what comes next? Oh wow. Because the calm after the storm isn't peace. It's the real battlefield. The moment when everything gets quiet. That's when the true war begins. You've exposed the plot, mastered your awareness, and turned your silence into armor. But now, the challenge shifts inward. It's not about them anymore. It's about what happens inside you when the dust settles. See, silence can be heavy. too heavy. It echoes, it whispers doubts in the dark corners of your mind. What if they're still scheming? What if it all happens again? That's where most people break. Not from external blows, but from internal noise. But you're not most people, are you? You've learned that silence isn't emptiness. It's refined. It's the sound of transformation. You start to notice things others can't. The subtleties, the intentions behind every word, the patterns of human behavior laid bare. That awareness sharpens you, but it also isolates you, because once you see the truth clearly, you can't blend back into the crowd. You move differently now. Speak less, observe more. They say you've changed, but really, you've returned to your true form. The distractions are gone, the masks are gone. What's left is you. Yeah, the silence will test your patience. It will tempt you to react, to prove, to explain. But that's part of the trial. The enemy wants noise, because noise is weakness. Noise is exposure. Silence, on the other hand, silence is control. It's the language of those who already know the outcome. Nah, you don't owe anyone an explanation. The ones who plotted against you wouldn't understand the truth if you handed it to them. Let them speak, twist, invent. It doesn't matter. Their words have no weight anymore. They already revealed who they are. And you already learned what you needed to learn. You see, this stage, the trial of silence, is where strength becomes wisdom. You stop rushing to fix everything. You stop trying to convince. You stop bleeding energy for people who feed on confusion. Instead, you move with purpose, speak with precision, act with restraint. Every gesture becomes deliberate, every breath controlled. You're no longer reacting to life, you're directing it. Oh yeah, the same silence that once hurt you now protects you. It filters your surroundings. It keeps the shallow out and the real in. It gives your mind room to think, your heart room to heal, and your path room to unfold. That's when you realize silence wasn't punishment, it was preparation. You were never meant to stay broken. You were meant to rebuild differently, quietly, powerfully, beyond reach. And when you emerge from that silence, steady, measured, aware, the ones who plotted will sense it before they see it. The balance shifts, the story turns. And this time, the stage belongs to you. The quiet ones aren't harmless. They're just calculating. The reckoning begins not with chaos, but with precision. You don't storm in. You don't announce your comeback. You simply move. Deliberate, focused, silent. Every step feels heavier now. Not because you're burdened, but because you understand. You've learned that real strength isn't loud. It's surgical. Oh wow. You used to think victory meant shouting over your enemies. Now you know it's the calm after they realize you no longer care. They wanted you angry, desperate, distracted, but you became disciplined instead. That's the twist they never saw coming. You turned their plot into a training ground. You forged patience from betrayal, strategy from pain, and focus from chaos. You stopped reacting to the noise and started moving with intention. And that's what terrifies them most. Because reckoning isn't revenge, it's revelation. It's the moment when the truth you carried quietly begins to show in your results. Your composure, your clarity, your rise. You don't need to confront anyone anymore. Your existence becomes confrontation enough. You represent everything their deceit failed to destroy. Every step you take forward exposes their failure in silence. Oh yeah, that's the kind of justice no plot can outrun. See, this part of the journey isn't about exposing them. It's about expressing you, the unbreakable version, the refined one, the person who learned that some battles are won not by fighting, but by enduring, by outlasting the noise until truth reveals itself. You learn that power isn't in reaction, it's in restraint, that silence wasn't retreat, it was aim. And now you're ready to strike, not with anger, but with impact. Nah, this isn't the kind of reckoning they imagined. They expected shouting, chaos, exposure. What they get instead is stillness that speaks louder than any threat. You rise through discipline, through focus, through consistency. You let time do the talking. That's what unnerves them. You're proving that the purest form of power is the ability to move forward without bending to their corruption. And when they finally realize the plot failed, when they see you standing firm, unbroken, untouchable, they'll understand the truth too late. Because the reckoning isn't about punishing them. It's about you fulfilling what was written for you from the start. Strength through patience, vision through awareness, and victory through integrity. You've become what they could never imitate. Consistent, steady, and unstoppable. Oh yeah. They thought they buried you under the weight of deception, but you were never underground. You were growing roots. And now those roots have turned to iron. Every trial you faced has become your foundation. Every lie they built has become your stage. Every attempt to silence you only amplified your endurance. And now, as the final act unfolds, you stand there not as the victim of a plot, but as proof that no deception lasts forever. You uncovered their plan, outlasted their traps, and emerged cleaner, calmer, and stronger than the noise that tried to consume you. This is what true victory looks like. Not loud, not cruel, just undeniable. And there it is. The moment of truth. You saw what they built behind your back, and you didn't crumble. You calculated. Oh wow. You turned exposure into evolution, pain into purpose, and silence into strategy. That's not luck. That's awareness forged in fire. Yeah, they tried to play you, but you learned how to read the whole board. Every fake smile, every twisted word, all of it became your education. You didn't just survive their plot, you decoded it. You became too real for their illusion. So here's the message. Don't ever apologize for waking up. Don't dim your perception just to fit their comfort zone. They wanted you blind. Instead, you built vision sharp enough to cut through deception itself. Nah, you're not paranoid. You're prepared. You're not bitter. You're aware. You're not broken. You're reborn through clarity. Every trial they threw at you only refined your focus. Every whisper of doubt only reminded you that truth stands taller than manipulation ever could. And to everyone still here, watching till the end, much respect to you. You're not just an audience, you're part of this awakening. You're the proof that the unseen ones, the quiet ones, the underestimated ones are the most dangerous kind. So comment "I see it now" below if you're done being blind to their game. Share this with someone who's starting to wake up. Let's flood this world with awareness so sharp deception won't dare move again.